got a team. We're ready to go. And he was told, stand down. You're not going anywhere. And you got to wonder, what would a top general do if a president of the United States said, you are not going to help those people? And if he knew, maybe based on the president's past behavior, that the reason that decision was being made wasn't because it was for the good of the country, it was for the good of Barack Obama.
No, we did the same thing in Vietnam. You can take fire from that hill, but you can't return fire to it. No, it's not gonna wash.
Well, you know why you know why Mogadishu went down the way it did. If you read Mark Bowden's book, it's because Carter decided to put a force in Mogadishu, but decided not to give them the proper level of support. And so when they ran into a problem, it became a gigantic problem because they didn't have the right amount of men and guns, basically, is what it can, armored personnel carriers and everything else. So when the bad guys decided to get into a firefight with them, the end result was the biggest death of American troops in a combat situation since Vietnam. That's Black Hawk Down. John's on the line. Hey, John, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Art. First of all, I just want to thank you and really only Fox News for actually giving the interview to the gentleman's father who died for our country. I actually continued to stay out of town last week, and I was scouring the news every night in my hotel room, and I could not find CNN, ABC, NBC. I see nothing about it. My question is, we all agree on what happened that night. My question is, why not weeks proceedings? I don't understand why we need to have, a couple hundred Marines stationed there at the facility.
I think I can tell you why. The going theory is that the president wanted this to look as though he had been successful. He had helped to overthrow Gaddafi. Libya was in the hands of a brand new government, and things were copacetic enough that you didn't have to have a large security contingent there, which is why in August they pulled the 16-member Special Forces team out, the one that was headed by, I think it was Lieutenant Colonel, it wasn't Wood, it was Lieutenant Colonel, I can't remember, he's from Utah and he's part of the National Guard. I'd have to look it up. But they pulled him out of there, and he said, no, we're needed here. And they said, no, you're not going to be there. And again, it's not a cost thing when you've got 2.4 million people in the United States military, whether you have 15 or 16 of them sitting in Libya or not, in Tripoli, is not a big deal financially, but it is a big deal for the president, who wants to portray Libya as a huge success story, and he thought they looked a whole lot better when we didn't have a lot of military there. It was a stupid thing to do.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can hear this interview with the father that you did, and also I think Fox News went and repeated basically the same thing, and if you don't get rolled up with pride, listen to that, then you're not American.
You're absolutely right. That young man broke the rules, went and did what was needed to be done, and gave his life for his country, and the president didn't lift a finger to help him. Let's go to Kevin in Medford, listening on KCMX. Hey, Kevin, thanks for listening. What's on your mind?
Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I've been listening to all this soldier carve that's been going on in the president, and I'm going, whatever happened to Harry Truman's plaque that said the buck stops here?
It doesn't stop with Barry Obama. He lets it stop with Hillary. He lets it stop with somebody else. He's always got somebody else he can blame. Believe me. I'm surprised that he isn't blaming this storm on Bush.
Global warming.
Well, no. I'll bet the storm actually, Hurricane Sandy was kicked off by a videotape on YouTube that nobody's ever seen.
Oh yeah, they should definitely, blame somebody else, because definitely he's got no responsibility for anything, but it's fun saying how he's so responsible and in charge.
It's funny too. Can I tell you something I put on YouTube last night? I was kind of tired because I got home from hunting and Tina had a bunch of honeydews for me. But I want to pull this up because I stuck it up on my Facebook page before I got to the stuff about General Hand, Carter Hand. But I want to read you something. Now, this isn't coming from me. This is coming from a smart guy. Ron Portman, who's governor of Ohio, one of the battleground states, right? Here's what he said. And now we are hearing that the President of the United States, based on his own words, issued a directive immediately after he found out about the firefight, saying he wanted to make sure those people on the ground were safe and they were getting what they needed. It didn't happen. This means either that the President's order was not would be a breakdown in terms of White House procedure, or it means the order was never issued. So if we hear the president say, I issued this order, and the order didn't get followed, does it mean that people in the Pentagon said, we're not going to do what the president says, or does it mean that the president never issued the order to begin with?
Well, but if somebody was told to stand down, then somebody gave an order.
Yeah, but the president says
Somebody was reacting.
the president didn't say he told everybody to stand down. What the president admits he did is he says, as soon as I found out about the firefight, this is Rob Portman, the governor of Ohio, saying, the president now says that as soon as he found out there was trouble, he ordered that everything be done to try to make those people safe. Well, if that's true, why didn't that happen? And, you know, Kevin, I just can't resist the urge to play one of my favorite sound bites about following orders.
Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he forgot?
No.
Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick left your office and said, the old man is wrong?
No.
When Lieutenant Kendrick spoke to the platoon and ordered them not to touch the tobacco, any chance they ignored him?
You ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands? Asked him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders where people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Apparently something wasn't crystal at the White House this time. 18 minutes after the hour. Back in a moment. You've got the Lars Larson Show. Portland's best traffic right here from Tim Ryan on FM News 101.
Well, things are actually looking pretty good right now in and around the city. I-5, Sunset, Banfield, 217, inbound, outbound. Really nothing to report at the moment. There's actually probably more traffic going on in the parking lot of your favorite supermarket than on the roads out here. That's where you're at, or that's where you're going to be heading. Make sure to watch out for those shopping carts. You know what? We love traffic tips. If you see something, call us night or day. 1-877-788-4KXL. 1-877-788-4KXL. I'm Tim Ryan with the Traffic Center. Now, Portland's most weather 24/7.
Mid-60s today, only a few spotty showers, but it turns really heavy late tonight into tomorrow and stays pretty wet through Wednesday. I'm KGW News Channel 8 meteorologist Nick Allard. Your next news, traffic, and weather update at the bottom of the hour on FM News 101.
The Spirit Mountain Charity Blackjack Final is set. Hey, it's Lars. Join